Live Fire with Dad. Of course, we start off with Mom talking in the background. Dad, by the way, happy birthday 2 days ago.
Cha-ching, cha-ching. 47.
No, you're 74, not 47.
I'm dyslexic.
Oh, okay. So what's going on?
Not much. Just surviving the snow. Japers.
Did you see the funny video yet of the attorney with the judge where he puts a cat filter on? Is that not the greatest video ever?
That's funny as shit. They've been playing it on all the stations for the last 2 days.
Okay, I got to find it just so we can play it because I think everybody out there in the internet world needs to see this. Let me go to because I put it on my story on Instagram. Let me see if I can find it if it's still there.
Yeah, so I saw it on your story.
It might have expired. Oh, it already expired. Let's see if I can find it. Attorney. Well, I guess while I'm doing this, here it is. Attorney cat filter. This was easy. Okay. Oh, there's a whole 3-minute version of it. I've only seen like the 10-second version.
We're bringing back the old daily.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find this. Give me a second. Okay. So if you haven't seen this video yet, this is the greatest video in the history of videos. Dad, do you agree that it's like the greatest video ever?
That's one of the better ones.
It's one of the better ones. Okay. So we got to.
I think the best one of all time is the video of you kicking someone's head off their head.
That's pretty good. That's Els. I think that was Els. I did that. Okay. Can we see the screen? Let's just go full screen with it. Let me get rid of that. Okay. You ready?
I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to
Can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I'm not a cat.
That's awesome. He said, I'm here live. I'm not a cat. Probably the greatest video I think I've ever seen, Dad.
It was funny.
Oh, Christy sent it to me yesterday, and I think I showed it to 50 people. I was walking up to random servers at a restaurant in Florida. Like, you got to watch this video. It's funny as can be. So, are you a cat?
No.
Okay, that is relieving to know. What I do think though is they said on the video, and all of a sudden I see that guy is 68. He sounds like he's 110.
I know.
Because you don't sound that grandpa-ish. And I think you're not a cat.
So I'm not a grandpa. I'm a grandpa, but I don't sound grandpa. I sound like I'm 47.
There we go. So what's going on, man? How was your birthday this week?
Fantastic. We grilled out ribeye steaks. I had a nice fine cigar and a glass of wine.
Yeah, I got to get you a birthday gift, I guess. I was gone all week, so I got to find you a birthday. Well, you're easy to get. I just get you cigars every time. Or you know what? Maybe we should go to Walt Hitching Post for your birthday this weekend.
We could do that. Hey, Matt, honey, he wants to know if we want to go to Walt Hitching Post this weekend for our birthday.
Okay, we don't have to have the conversation live on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn.
Sounds great, she said.
Okay, we'll figure it out. I'll talk to my better half and we'll figure it out. So I'm gonna go see your son. I'm gonna see your son next week. Your other one. I'm gonna fly down. Right? Yeah, I'm flying to Fort Myers next week for a business trip real quick, and I'm gonna stop in and see him.
Gorgeous new house.
Is it?
Oh, unbelievable! He's got a lanai outside, and he's got a swimming pool in the lanai.
Well, that's what the lanai is for. The lanai is to cover the swimming pool. So if he had a lanai and he didn't have a swimming pool, we would have a problem.
There's all kinds of lanais down there that aren't pools. Aren't there? I don't know. I'm not from that area, so I have no idea.
Lanais are covering pools, is what I know, man. Somebody said, when was the B-Day? Well, Dad's birthday is September 9th. It was 2 days ago.
No, February 9th.
February 9th. 2 days ago, February 9th. 74. You're finally the same age as Mom. What's up with Mom marrying a younger man?
I tell you what, I was marrying a cougar.
You married a cougar.
I married a cougar, baby.
So it's been a snow week. When I was in the sand down in Boca Raton, I don't know if it's Boca Raton, Florida, or Boca Raton.
Yep.
When I was in Boca Raton, I gotta say with a pinky out, I think, like Boca Raton, there was no snow. And then I came back late last night. I think I got home at like 12:30 or 1 or 1:30, and there's all this white snow in my yard.
Now, how in the hell did you get home? The roads would be slicker and slicker and unbelievable.
Slicker than unbelievable. You can say slicker than snot. I don't think that you're going to get sense. Yeah, they were fine, I guess. I don't know. I didn't pay much attention. I almost did get hit by a cop, oddly enough. The only time I almost got into a wreck, I'm coming down 42, and this car next to me, I couldn't tell it was a cop because everything's covered with snow, and I wasn't really paying much attention to it. It's just I'm in my lane, he or she's in their lane, and it just keeps getting in my lane. And I'm like, hello. I'm like, you see me here? And then he swerved into the middle lane and turned away. I think the reason the cop got off the road was because it didn't want to get in the lane next to me, realizing he almost hit me. So they acted like they were on patrol somewhere else.
Oh,
like
yeah, I'm on patrol.
Somewhere. Yeah. But no, it was fine.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, I played golf at Boca Raton before.
Oh, did you? Yeah, there's a lot of golf courses. Yeah, I was down there at Boca Raton. Then I went up to, again, the other name, Delray. And then I went up the street to Palm City. We were like 4 different places in 3 days. Had 7 meetings in a couple of days, 2.5 days.
Super.
So it's snowed out. A lot of people in the business world probably did, at least in this area, and I'm guessing it's snowed other places, probably didn't venture outside of their COVID palace, their house. What are your expert tips on days like this? If you're an entrepreneur or a business person, how you can take advantage of this versus getting out there and just hitting people with snowballs?
Zoom, telephone. I've had 3 or 4 deals today. I've been on 2 networking events, got coaching calls, the whole 9 yards. No big deal.
It is. Well, I think it is. It probably isn't as much now as it would have been this time a year ago, because this time a year ago, guys like you weren't really doing Zoom a whole lot, and now you're forced to do Zoom, and now you know how to do it all the time. And you think that's going to make a lot of people, even when the markets and everything opens back up? I mean, I was just in Florida, and it's as normal as it gets down there, honestly. But when the rest of the country opens their eyes up and wakes up, and we go back to normal, do you think this is going to create a lot of laziness in people?
Well, I suppose it could. It's going to create more free time. The thing is, though, is like myself, what it's done is people are. I'm getting clients now all over the country that are feeling free to talk to me, where before they really you had to almost talk them into it because they weren't that now and so you got most of your clients in your local area where they have in a Zoom. The whole United States could be your stomping ground.
Well, and I don't think it was the advent of Zoom. I think it was people changing their perceptions. A lot of people, like I talked to numerous employers a year ago that I would talk to about how they run their company. Like, oh yeah, all of our employees Monday through Friday have to come to the office. And I'm like, man, you realize how much better the life would be of most of your employees if they maybe went to the office twice a week or 3 times. They can get just as much done at home. They don't have to fight traffic. Don't have to park in a parking garage. Heck, I remember a buddy of mine last year complaining because the radio station he worked for was mandatory they come in on a snow strike. Like, no, you're coming in, we're making phone calls. He's like, dude, it's going to take me 3 hours to get there. And it took him 3 hours to get there. And I'm like, what a dumb boss that you just inconvenienced your employee. One, you put them at harm's way. They could have been more productive at their house on a day like today. I think this has shown people that perception was right all along, and that's why it's open. Because I'm national. 99% of my clients aren't in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky. I'm in Fort Myers next week. I was in the week after that. I'm in Arizona. I come back and I go to 2 weeks after that. I go to Illinois, Indiana, St. Louis.
Well, I'll tell you what. I picked up 3 clients this week, and they're not anywhere near Cincinnati. They're actually one's in Philadelphia, one's in Atlanta, and one's in Minnesota.
Nice. Hey, I got an idea. you ought to go. We're going to, for the MPTV podcast for the month of March, we are going Indiana, Illinois, St. Louis, and back. You ought to go with us. We ought to take your motorhome. Me, you, and David. And we could probably find one other person, and we could make it a road trip to where, because it's going to be 4 or 5 days probably. I've got to hit a couple places in Indianapolis. I got to hit a couple places in Illinois, and then we're finishing at 2 clients in St. Louis, and then coming back. We could probably hit a couple more cities on the way back. That could be an MPTV road trip, Fire at Dad episode, whole series.
Could be. Cha-ching. When are you going?
In?
Sure.
We'll figure it out. I'm in. It's supposed to be the second week of March. I got to line up the dates, but I'll get on it ASAP, and second or third week of March more likely, and I'll get with you.
All right.
Cool. Okay. Well, you got anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, one thing.
What you got?
I listened to a podcast this week, and on my activity sheet that I give all my clients, the second line says send notes. When did you send any notes this week? And ironically enough, the whole podcast I listened to was all about sending notes.
Yeah.
They say one of the thing is that happens. People, they don't send notes. They don't send anything. All they do is send emails. Okay. The problem with emails, as soon as you read it, to delete it. With notes, okay, it may actually be on somebody's cork board behind their desk, or it might be on their desk, and that's one way of keeping top of mind with people. And I tell you what, I was talking to someone when I'm coaching clients after I heard the podcast, and she says, actually, I send out about 20 notes a week, and she says, you would not believe the response we get off the notes. People love the notes because they don't get them. So if you send a note out, you're top of mind. And you might even get a phone call or a response from somebody saying, hey, thanks a lot. I really appreciate the note. All you got to do is simply say, hey, thinking of you. All right, I happen to come across your name and made a comment. I haven't talked to you for a while. Here you go.
I'm gonna start doing it tomorrow. Doug does them. We have postcards at our office, or I guess not postcards, but envelopes and branded cards to send out. When I worked in radio, I did them all the time. I did 5 or 10 a day. If I talked to you on the phone back in those days, you got a card. I never forget, I had a lady named Betsy Koval, who I've told this before. She ended up going to jail, I think, for drug trafficking or something. She was a marketing director at First Financial Bank back in the day. I think it was called First Financial Bank of Southwestern Ohio back then. They were in downtown Hamilton. But I would every time I would talk to her or meet with her, I would send a postcard or card in the mail with a business card and thanking her. And she called me and she goes, Matt, if you send me one more business card, I'm coming after you. And she was joking. But then I also think back on it like, wow, she actually went to jail. Maybe she was a danger to me. So I'm glad I didn't send her anymore.
I'm surprised the FBI didn't come and question you because you were sending her cards all the time.
You and I ought to write a book of our experiences, because the one thing you and I have a lot of, and it's hard not to have a lot of stories because we've done a lot. We've traveled a lot. We've been involved in a lot of weird, funny things. We ought to write a book, like weird stories from the Plaps. Is Mom on the phone?
She's talking now. She's talking about what you're saying.
Oh, so now why doesn't she just walk behind you when you get on camera? I'm going to have to talk to corporate about that.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, we ought to write what would be a good name?
I don't know. You think about it. What'd she say?
Mom said the Slapping the Fish book.
Slapping the Fish, yeah. Cool.
That was one of my sayings when we were younger. Hey, but no, the note cards are a huge thing. People ought to be doing that. If you're not doing that, you should be doing it. It's one of the best ways to stay top of mind. And you'd be surprised. You may get some major responses from your clients and get some business out of it. Do it.
Sure.
That's your homework, folks.
There you go. And next Thursday, I'll be in Fort Myers. You know what? I ought to try and line up getting with Sam for Fire with Dad next week when I'm in Fort Myers.
Well, that'd be awesome.
You could have the first ever Fire with my dad, but also Sam would be Fire with his dad.
Be a double whammy.
Double whammy. Okay, cool. I'll see you later, Dad. See you, Mom.
Love you. He says, see you, Mom. Bye.
Bye.